Okay, on the open questions, a bit on the background, I come from the Ukraine group. We had quite an interesting discussion there. There was also a mirroring from Colombia, and there were inputs from Kosovo and Macedonia. You'll see some of the open questions are more concrete and based on specific cases, and some of others are more open philosophical. Okay, that will need more time also and better reflection. So to go to a more concrete open question is, the first one is how to deal with state symbols in situations of challenged authority. I think this came from the case of Northern Mitrovica and of what SDC is trying to do there, and of somehow the agreement that, okay, we go enter, we work there, but we have to avoid using the symbols of Kosovo in order to be accepted also by the authority there. I would like to add here also what terminology you use. I learned, for example, that in case of Ukraine, for the eastern part, you use non-controlled government area. So you avoid using separatist or other lingo that might be perceived in the wrong way by the population there. The second open question is how to position ourselves vis-a-vis armed groups. This is an interesting also question. Do we talk to them, and do we sit with them, and in what type of relationship? Of course, in the end, our focus are the people in need, but to go there, perhaps sometimes we have to go through this. So for those countries that are in such situations, that's an interesting question. Just on the bottom of that, there is a question, didn't come from our group, but it says being political, how to be political. Basically, in the end, I try to learn more of the essence of this question is that we're not doing the stuff that we're doing just for the technical assistance, but we are doing it also to change things, and to change things we need to be political. So the question is how we can become political through our things. Of course, here somewhere it's something else that says we need to be less political and more on the technical issues, and perhaps the question is how to align those both stances. In the end, you need to change things, and how you can better change those things. Continuing with the question is decentralization contributing to peace? And this is a more philosophical and long-term question. We know that in authoritarian regimes, perhaps you have more stability, and control of the state is better and stronger, whereas further you go with decentralization, you open up Pandora's box, and you might have claims from different ethnic groups for more rights, and where do you draw the line and the border? The next question is, can we work towards sustainability versus substitution? So I don't quite get this. However, what perhaps we want to say, because this is also a reflection we had in our group, working toward short-term situations versus long-term commitments. How do we deal with that? And we had also a discussion within our group regarding the current situation in eastern part of Ukraine, whether it is a hot potato or whether it is already a frozen conflict. So how do you treat it? You go with humanitarian aid, but then eventually we have some other conflicts in Moldova, for example, that have been since '92. Okay, well, frozen conflicts, what do you do there? How do you treat it? And then in the end, the question is how to align the donor language with local reality. And this is what I said in the very beginning, that sometimes you have to be careful and with the lingo and with the terminology you use. But also sometimes the donor language is so complicated and it's so it is so out of reality that it's very difficult to translate it. For example, the case that was used was social cohesion. Perhaps in many contexts it's difficult to translate it, but I can take also the case of Albania, for example, a terminology that was difficult to translate even till late years was workshop. There was no word in Albanian for workshop. Then we had to adopt it from our Kosovo experience. They had invented a word about it. So somehow, just to tell you also in simple things and terminology, how to better reflect the local realities. Okay, thank you. This is all.